RPM, get in gear. Welcome back to my look back at one of Bandai America's more successful Power Ranger toy lines post import stop. The Mach Megazord, which comes in 3 parts. Well, 4. We have a helicopter, which is also a chicken, because Power Rangers. A tiger, which is also a jet, because Power Rangers. And finally, a super weapon that was reformatted into a jumbo jet that's also a whale, because Power Rangers. Let's look at the chicken copter first. It is very well done and represents the Gold Ranger's personality very decently. And before you ask, no, chickens are not cowardly. They're actually quite ornery. So having a Zord made out of a chicken is actually pretty spot on. As for the helicopter blades attached to it, yes, they do spin. So kudos to the toy makers here. Next we have a Tiger jet, which looks pretty intimidating. I think this was supposed to be some sort of canine in the Sentai, but I'm not sure. Once again, the paint job is very well done. As is, it doesn't do a lot of movement, but it does look like it could fly very impressively. And finally, we come to the whale in the room. This particular Zord started out as a super weapon of the bad guys, and the royal smart person of the team reconfigured it into a Zord for their purposes, because they realized that even if they can destroy this one, the bad guys can just build another one. So they co-opted it, which is interesting. And the comedy that ensues from the birth of this particular Zord is actually pretty funny. The sarcasm between Dr. K, the royal smart person, and Ziggy, the comedic Green Ranger with a heart of gold, is just priceless. Really, the back and forth between those two, not to mention the Green and Black Rangers, is reason enough to watch the show. So let's get on to seeing what the space whale or the sky whale can do. As you can see, it comes with a engine cell, which goes in here, like so. And the best part is, this particular Zord can have 2 modes. One is the combination mode. The other is something that to me says super weapon more than its other form. This one. Simply, you pull the head off. Visible head syndrome high. Rotate it. Put it in place. And yeah, the whale mouth can move up and down, but that doesn't factor into anything. They just added it because. You also split the legs. You attach them to the wings and make sure that doesn't fall off. Those can come off, but not till later. You rotate the fins on the back so they're more in line with the wings. I'll do the other one off camera. There we go. And you have some kind of jet mode, but really it looks more like the flying wings that you tend to see in those old comics where the bad guy's going to take over the world, of course. And this is what he uses to do it. Now this, to me, looks more like what the bad guy would use for his super weapon. In the show, it appeared, I think, only once, maybe twice. It basically sets itself on fire and then uses these multiple molded-in jets to basically slam through enemies. Which, honestly, I can see working very well, considering later combinations do something similar. And I really like this form. It's too bad we didn't get to see it much in the show. But enough of that, let's get to transformation. It's really very simple. All you have to do is put the fins back the way they were, like so. Separate the legs from the wings and click them into place so you stand because it's normal. I'm never going to stop doing that. Thank you, MGO316. You rotate the actual wings up just a little bit and spin them so they're more like shoulders, like so. Then you take the head off, peg it into the chest, like so. And now he's ready for his weapon/limbs. For the chicken copter, it's really very simple. Take the back off, rotate it, and put it back on. Now, the helicopter blades can get in the way a bit, but not if you're careful, although they can be removed without damaging the toy if it makes it easier. And then you tab it into place right in that round section. So it's got one arm. Then you take the wolf, take the wings off the back, peg them carefully because the pegs are kind of small and fragile looking, peg them into the front like so, and you have the Mach Megazord. Now it's the word spelled M-A-C-H, as in Mach 1, Mach 2, the speed of sound as gauged by jets. But I also like to think that the good guys are mocking the bad guy because they took his weapon and are now using it against him, which I thought was a bit of clever nastiness. Now, there are a couple features to this guy. His arms can rotate, both at the shoulder and down here, but I don't like to move him around too much because some of the joints are a little loose. It's probably just a flaw in my toy, but overall, he's better as a display. But the finisher for the Megazord itself involves an arrow coming out of the chest, being held by the chicken, and being shot as a longbow by the wolf. Or not wolf, tiger. So, yeah, that would be the Mach Megazord. Coming up, these two make their appearance, and we also get a small surprise. Oops, don't want to spoil it. See you then.